And to the World Cyber Arena 2017 Asia Pacific qualifiers. We're going to be taking a look at game number 1 of the second series of the day, where it's Execration, the TI-bound team from the Southeast Asia, facing off against RRQ. I'm Lyrical, joined as well by Ryuu. Dota, my man, how you doing?
I'm good, I'm good. Got a little bit of hot left in me, I guess.
Oh man, what are you doing?
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know. You went into your southern accent, so I had to go into mine.
Did I go into a southern accent?
Sorta.
Oh my
Maybe not.
Turn to pick.
It's like, how you doing, Ma?
You got to be careful with that. You got some panhandle stuff going on, and you are from Florida, so...
Florida?
Aren't you?
That ain't me. No, I'm in Texas right now.
You're in Texas? I thought you were in Florida. What the hell?
I was there for like 4 months.
5
But I've been
seconds
in
remaining.
Texas for like 8 months?
Okay.
9?
Reserve time.
Just hanging out with all my, was that the Brokebacks?
Yeah. Sure. I don't know anymore. I'm not even sure anymore. It's far too early to find out that your co-caster who you thought was in Florida is in Texas. So I guess that's even more of the southern slang and drawl that's been going.
Yeah, you can do, and I can do any jokes now. I can do cowboy jokes. I can do. I'm not even gonna say Hispanic jokes. Everybody's gonna just say racist. So,
That's fine. Those things happen. I think no matter what, Twitch chat is going to be saying random stuff.
That's true.
We do have a little bit of a different look this time around. It's going to be, as I mentioned, Execration, of course. They're coming in hot off of a TI-7 Southeast Asian qualifiers. The Filipino team are going to be going to TI, barring any visa issues. And then on the other side, it's RRQ, who didn't quite make it all the way through, the Indonesian team. And it looks like they have not made any changes as far as I can tell with their lineup. It looks like it's pretty much everybody from that same qualifying team that they faced off against with earlier.
The thing is, normally you don't want to change teams until after TI because of these, little small tournaments that might come before and maybe after, where you just can play, maybe feel like, hey, do we still have this chemistry? Hey, do we really want to do this together? And that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think particularly for RRQ, it's a team that if they like the chemistry between all of them, then they're going to stick together anyways because they're all Indonesian, and you want to all play within the same, it's an organization that wants to keep all those players consistent. So that's good. And, well, we're a little bit more into the draft already. I want to talk about Underlord. I feel like this hero, he actually has the highest win rate right now in pubs overall. How do you feel about this hero?
Well,
in 7K Dota, it's pretty underwhelming, I'll tell you that much. Most of the time what happens is if you pick Underlord first, second, or third, the enemy team picks Timbersaw. Timbersaw completely destroys the Underlord, and then all of a sudden the game is...
10 seconds.
You have this Underlord that has like 1K net worth, and this Timbersaw that has like 6K net worth, and the game's just over. So that's the story of some 7K pubs. But at other times, if you're able to, sneak in an Underlord, or the enemy team doesn't counter you too hard, then the hero can definitely team fight pretty well. Can get a lot done in the laning. He is pretty tanky still, even though they did knock down that a trophy a long time ago, that aura. But he's still very tanky. He can push out waves. Very good hero all around. And this hero is pretty good with the pit, especially against a puck, against the Faceless Void, who rely on their mobility spells, where you can just keep them in place there. And then they also have, chains too. So chains comboing with that. They have a lot of stuns on RRQ. So both teams right now, I'll just say real quickly, both teams seem to be lacking like that kind of like heavy burst damage, besides, the puck and stuff, and maybe the Ember with some fire remnants. But with the PA, there's your heavy burst damage, so I'd like to see that at least.
I came in fully expecting to just say that Execration were going to stomp, but I really like this RRQ draft. You mentioned that mobility, it's not going to be there for those heroes with Pit of Malice, a really good spell, and then on top of that, the Ember Chains. This, to me, feels like it has the potential to as long as they can get out of the laning stage, okay, that's where I think Execration is going to make their money. If you get RRQ into this death ball-y, grouping up together, pushing down towers, taking fights as 5, and then Ember being there to push out the side lanes, it's going to be hard to deal with. But Execration to pick some strong lanes. That's, to me, feels like it's the different ideas of the two teams.
Yeah, and OD, this rounded last pick. Now, OD is not necessarily that good against PA, and maybe in the later... Well, it kind of depends, right? In the later stages of the game, this blur is very annoying to deal with for OD. Evasion is in general, but OD in the laning stage here is pretty good against Ember Spirit. Can definitely shut down an Ember in lane and crush him. And then you also, going into the mid game, is very strong against Underlord. If you just right-click him, he's unhappy with all the amounts of intelligence you're going to be stealing. It's kind of like this OD is very strong against Underlord, against Abaddon. You just take all their stats, and they feel like, well, I'm tanky, but I'm actually not tanky against an OD.
Yeah, and it's also a hero that you would love to be able to, you build tanky things on him. You build hoods, you build Crimson Guards, all of those stuff, but OD Orb doesn't matter. Like, OD just runs through them.
The
particularly
is too much.
With having Faceless Void here too, it's really, really good. They have both Lich and Outworld Devourer for that. So, going to be an interesting game. I'm excited to see it. I think this Execration team, if anybody out there right now, you're watching Dota 2, you want a team to watch going into TI, Execration has that potential because they've got some explosive-ass players, and I am really excited to see what they can do and show when they get there, and this is going to be the first instance of it. You certainly don't want to end up losing to RRQ going into TI.
Shots fired already on the cast.
I mean, let's be real.
Shots
RRQ,
fired.
they're a good tier 2 team,
Lyrical just said,
but they're not the best.
All right, so trash versus anyways, this game, what I'm interested to see is like how these laning phases or what they're gonna do for the laning phase, right? If you have like a Lich plus Puck off lane, that is very annoying to deal with in general. And then how do you really stop that? OD is very hard to gank in the mid lane. You also have Void, who's also hard to kill.
Yeah.
All these heroes are super tanky on the Dire side. I'm very worried for RRQ in this game, just because how are they going to kill these mobile heroes?
Yeah. It really feels like it's going to need to be the levels eventually, and getting those on Underlord and Ember to make sure they can catch him. As we have the allied chat spam, people are leaving the game. I'm going to mute all these damn players in a second. Again, I don't want to be like too harsh on them, but there's a pretty clear disparity between these two teams just in terms of like success at international events and everything else. If you look at RRQ, their total winnings across the entire life of the organization is $10,000. Pretty rough. And then Execration on the other side, it's like 100,000 or something. So it's both teams that haven't had a ton of success, but it's orders of magnitude more success, Execration, just based off of their previous performance when they made it to TI, of course, last year, and going again this year. I think that it's probably one of the better Southeast Asian clubs in general. Oh, I think that was a ward spotted maybe by... they didn't spot it. I was wondering if the PA was going to get into range quickly enough, but this is going to block off the camp while also maintaining vision over that rune.
Yep. Normally, what happens is Liches, they TP out fast. They might go to this tier 1 tower, but instead they went to the shrine, and then they went the long way. So that's going to help make sure that they're not found out there, even though Witch Doctor was pretty early in his TP efforts to try and stop this. But now they don't have a sentry. Well, they do have a sentry, but they need to make sure they get the right spot to D-ward, because Lich is not fun to play with when you don't have any pools to work with.
Yeah, this hero is going to be a real thorn in their side. And he actually is going to have no items. Man, this is the Poverty Lich, RR, with 1 tango. Have you ever seen a hero this poor before? Look at this.
And the worst part is that Night Stalker doesn't have much either.
Yeah.
It's like watching reverse all random mode.
This is like the Southeast Asian style though. It's like sort of 3 solo lanes, kind of. Although RR is going to be playing it, helping out Raging Potato here, but it's like they're heavily invested into the 3 cores. So I like that. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like these heroes are going to have a magic stick, although Puck is now going to pick one up. So he'll be playing up against them one-on-one. James is going to be under fire by Zephyr, and yeah, it'll be good.
So, and then, yeah, Zephyr, like you said, he's trying his best to just make it so that Ember doesn't get shut down too hard. Plus, there's nothing really a Rubik can do in his other lanes. Yeah, mid, top of mid.
Maybe. Logic is just going to end up getting that salve canceled. So very close to going down there, and PA is not going to have a good time. Nando here is always going to be threatening him.
Oh, Nando. Oh, if that bounced back, he was dead.
Yeah.
Super lucky.
Well, nonetheless, it is still going to be a bit of a trade-off 1v1 mid. It does leave a 1v1 also. Now Raging Potato and Koala facing off against each other. And I like this lane for Underlord a little bit more because he can keep the pressure on with the Firestorm and stuff. Does it ever become easier for Void?
I think it's pretty good for both of them. The problem is that Void is at a big advantage here because he didn't start with the Poor Man's Shield on Underlord, so he just bought his Stout, so he's gonna get less right clicks, effective right clicks against the enemy offlaner, and he can just backtrack. But at the same time, all Underlord has to do is just push out lanes, mid lane. Oh. That is hurt and top.
Yeah, that's gonna be the kill. As Lemic is gonna drop down. They rotated in another, so Rubik making his presence felt, as well as a little bit of help from the Night Stalker, who ends up going down and is actually going to bring out a null tally, interestingly enough, for the Puck. So not going to even end up using the Courier. What was that? Did he have the null tally on him? Why did he bring that out? I thought that it was on the Puck before. No, I guess they just had the stuff for the wand. Okay.
It was an extra null for the OD. But let's see here. Just looking at mid lane. It's pretty much even now, where the Ember is just going to start harassing and being a nuisance. James can't play too close at times when he does have the Searing Chains up and you've already used the Astral. Could be trouble, but it's already out.
Yeah,
so.
Now they're just going to be able to force him back again. So, I mean, they didn't even need to bring Lich in, but he can shoot off a couple of those, and we'll have another sacrifice here. Just going to give James a little bit more of a lead in this in terms of the experience in the mid lane.
Kind of curious to see what Lich is going to go at level 3. What do you want? What do you want? Do it!
And he's waiting to see, I guess. I mean, he doesn't need to commit the point until the sacrifice is back up again.
Yeah.
And it looks like Abu ends up taking down James in the mid lane, despite having that little bit of help from the Lich.
Your eyes. All right, well, I'm going to blame Lich on that. I'm blaming him. I was ready for that play because I thought OD was playing a little bit too aggressive with his Astro and not backing up far enough. So, and that's the problem. So,
Lich is able to take away the regen, does fully commit into the 2 points in Frost Blast, so not going to be going for more of the sacrifice. And up top, they can keep Lemix push back as well as Excel. And he's going to be okay there. But so far, going into the favor of Execration as far as the lane CS was concerned. That's kind of what we were expecting, though.
Yeah, they've set their lanes up pretty well to have a favorable matchups and come out ahead. And the Lich, he's just doing his own thing. He's kind of like playing this roaming 4 Lich where he's getting runes, he's just denying creeps, coming in with Frost Blast, being annoying. So this Lich 4, well, he kind of like started out as a 5, right? He didn't buy anything, but he's kind of like playing a 4 role this game, which is pretty cool and interesting. Whereas the Night Stalker, He's the one supporting in the lane. He's the one harassing. I like the idea. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Oh, and now Lich in trouble. He is going to end up going down there. James, looks like the Astral was still on cooldown when that ended up happening, and Ember able to get away with one. I think that part of the reason you're able to do this as well on Lich, and it's pretty effective, is because even without boots, he was sitting at 315 movement speed. The hero's pretty fast in general and can kind of move around the map a little bit more effectively than you would be able to on other heroes.
Meanwhile, wrap around, Night Stalker coming from behind.
It's found Zephyr. Koala in the area as well, looking for some body blocks to keep his buddy alive. Not going to happen. Leemic picks up a kill and might be able to even force out a shrine here before the Ember Spirit gets in tide. And doesn't look like they're going to be able to run him down as of yet.
So at least the shrine wasn't wasted too much. And, well, the problem is Void is level 6. Almost going on level 7 here. Underlord here is only level 5, and this is the problem that happens. The Void has the offlane shrine to really work with, and he's just, like I said earlier, he had the poor man shield access. It's just not home.
Yeah, caught that right at the very end. A little Frost Blast came through, and
bottom here.
And Nando maybe gonna end up going down as well. They're trying to get away. Does look like they're gonna fully commit the Chronosphere to this one. They did kill off Nando. And Koala is going to end up finding one kill for himself, and now another one. Remnant's a little bit haphazardly, but they still managed to find that kill. So 3 go down as they were able to take down Nando up in the top lane as well.
Yep. RRQ is playing really well right now. And this is during nighttime, too.
Yeah.
That Chrono killed the Night Stalker. A little bit questionable there. Ooh. And he couldn't be aggro, too.
Setting up. This is really nicely done. They're going to be able to catch him again. No, not quite in range, though. And unfortunately, the Maledict does not look like it's quite going to be enough damage. It is 2 points in it, but well, Nando actually took a little bit of damage there from the creeps as well, but he's going to be fine.
Meanwhile, bottom lane. Just harassment coming out from the Void. Now, this is kind of where it's going to be interesting here. Almost daytime soon. Night Stalkers only got up to level 4, and they already used their big Void ultimate. So this is a really good time for RRQ to apply a lot of pressure on the board.
Yeah, and, well, they have been able to find themselves the Night Stalker yet again, and bouncing back and forth between Roche the Hunter and the Night wears out. He does end up finding that kill. Zephyr, well done. Man, oh man, and now with daytime coming up, his effectiveness around the map is going to be severely limited.
Arms for the dead.
They're doing a really good job. Although Lich is getting his levels, and he's about to get his Strankles, this hero... He's not offering as much as, say, this Rubik and Witch Doctor did. They got the kills in the top lane. They kind of rotated around. They did a really good job of being active on the map. So I like how their active supports made an impact this game. And they kind of shut down the puck a little bit as best they could with kills they could. They couldn't stop him from CSing, but... And then now they're going to give Rubik some free time and... in the mid lane, get his level 6. There's some pretty good spells to steal this game too.
Oh yeah. Even
having the Astral steal is good enough. You can save your allies. You can set up for a lot of things. So.
And the nice thing about this also is that it's going to mean that Witch Doctor can get the tome for himself. That allows him to get his level 6, and Rubik can get it without it. So they're going to have this much stronger team fight with all of those levels that come online. Where you compare that to, say, the Night Stalker and the Lich, and Lich might be the one that has to take the tome for himself to ensure that he gets his level 6. Maybe not with all of the sacrifices that they've been doing, but still, it's quite nice.
Yeah, they have good combos with the Lich, though. Like, This is something not to underestimate this game. They have 2 good things, right? Coil is a pretty good setup if you can get it on 2 or 3, and that kind of makes them stay together, as well as the Void Chrono. So if there is a lineup that Lich can work in, it's definitely this one. Lich, still only level 5. They're going to go on the hunt, though. Let's see if they can catch anybody.
Yeah, he might be able to sacrifice to get... Ooh, they're going to find him. Right there, and yeah, if you had that Chain Frost right
Yeah.
now, it would be perfect. They still might be able to find this kill. Frostbite's coming out, triple Remnant, all the way phase shifted, but they're still gonna find Nando, and a Logic just walks away. No damage, no kill.
Man, that feels so bad. Oh, that level 6. I want to take it back. I want to take that smoke back.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
literally, he
level
just
6.
got it right now, and that would have been a dead PA. Well, frustrating stuff, I'm sure, for Execration, as 8-3 is the score. We still haven't seen them use all of their ultis to the full effect. It's worth noting that that's going to be coming up relatively soon, and maybe it could happen even right now. If they manage to find these heroes with the Chronosphere and Chain Frost, maybe they can bait RRQ into a bad position. Doesn't look like it's going to happen yet.
You don't want to necessarily commit this chrono on top of the flame guard. Most of the time lock is top lane.
Yeah, he is
Just got out.
barely able to make the escape, but now the Chain Frost comes. Koala is not moving at all, but Rubik steals it, throws it back at RR. Oh no, Zephyr, with no regard for human life, takes him down, and yeah, a little bit of lag across the server. Unfortunately, that's right as PA is about to die, I think. I don't see a way that PA gets out of here. Doesn't have a TP.
Denies to neutrals.
Maybe. But James is actually here as well, and if he shows up, I think Koala just has to run right now. Do they see that the OD is just TP'd in? They do. So, a bit.
There's no up-ed here.
That.
Freezing.
Lol. All right, they're gonna get underway. Rubik is gonna have Chain Frost for the next 90 seconds. Logic turning, trying to get a crit. And,
Oh my, those crits.
oh, that would have been a big play. Nando ends up going down, and then he's out of there. What a done and done. But James has found the Rubik, so he'll get a
can just let
consolation
them-
kill.
Dire's
Lift
top
them.
tower
Lift-
has fallen.
Now he doesn't have enough mana to
Radiant's
TP
middle
away.
tower is under
Oh,
attack.
he does now. Needs to dodge, needs to juke. James, right click would have been there, but doesn't end up getting it. And Raging Potato dies in the bottom lane.
Dire's structures
Just hectic craziness all around.
Yep,
Dire's
level 3
bottom
chains,
tower is under
plus
attack.
cast, and Death Ward committed. So this is alright. So the start that Puck had this game was pretty phenomenal. It's 11 minutes in, only a 1,000 to his gold lol, in his coffers for the Blink Dagger, I guess you could say. And this is just kind of not where you want to be. Maybe you would like to have about 1,800, almost having that blink right now. But they've shut him down. That he's 0-3 right now on Puck.
Yeah.
So he was supposed to be their kind of like their safe lane, their free farmer, and it just hasn't come together.
Well, and now they want to make this big move and try and find a couple of kills. The scary thing is that they let Rubik get away with Chain Frost, so he's going to have it back up the same time that RR does. And now they run into one here. The Witch Doctor, they wanted that Ember really badly, and well, looks like with the lift back up, they can maybe turn this back around. The Chain Frost against Execration. It's completely destroying them. He jumped back into it. What are you doing?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I have not seen a Chain Frost do that much damage this early in a game. 2,500 damage.
Who's the better Lich? And now who's the better Puck?
Is under attack.
Yo, Zephyr is destroying faces. He almost has a Blink Dagger. The Puck is still so far away from his. Not that far, but god damn.
This is what we call wrecked. They also have mech on Underlord. That's crazy how fast he's managed to farm it. Considering like the lane kind of setup. I'm very impressed by that. Oh, well, Rubik,
I mean,
nice knowing you. Still got his blink, but
Dire's bottom tower is under
it's a good amount of gold. That'll give Nando his Blink.
yeah, that's 448.
I mean, Rubik's been having himself a great game.
What's his net worth right now, Rubik?
Just below Void.
Yeah, just below void too. That's
Yeah.
right. That's the word.
Man. And that's the thing. You look at it, it's, you know, a Rubik that it all comes back again to a couple of things. One, him stealing the Chain Frost from the Lich. Two, James not being able to kill him off when he went around that little tree there. Just everything.
And then 3, diving and clumping up.
Yeah. And then the Void jumped back in so that the Chain Frost bounced back to his teammate.
That's not even the 4 number. That's just forehead.
Oh, God.
That's a forehead moment for sure.
Well, we've been reeling from it, certainly. It feels like Execration now wanting to make sure that they take their fights a little bit more effectively. They still have Chronosphere. They're still going to have all this other stuff. They end up taking down the Night Stalker, though, in the bottom lane.
Meanwhile, Coil and, well, Astral.
Well, they're just going to end up pulling everybody down to the south. So it's time to take a tower. And nothing gained for Execration. They are just going to be gone with Coil down.
Man, the Astral Blink plays are real. This is... Rubik's basically invincible unless they manage to silence him.
Yeah.
Or orb him while he's coming out.
They drop down a ward here. They have pretty decent vision across the way. And almost catching Puck. The top lane, there's the battle going on. Yeah, Zephyr in trouble. The lift up, pulling back, trying to get away from James. Is in trouble, ends up stealing Time Walk, jumps away. Zephyr, Thoda, and now they're grouped up together. A lot of damage with the Maledict. Are they all going to end up tying a double kill for Koala? Oh, Zephyr. It's the debate. The debate is real. That play, he is playing so freaking good.
It's the next Kuroki, boys. No, but yeah, this Rubik's definitely playing absurd right now, keeping his team well above Execration. But they can't let up the pressure. They cannot. They have to keep going.
Yeah.
They have to make sure that they keep fighting when the Void's Chrono's down, the OD ultis are down and stuff.
Oh, nice the pull back in. Ragey Potato. He's going to be able to catch on to Logic, though. The rest of them are here. Chain Frost comes out. A lot of damage out on top of him. Rubik actually is not in the area, though, to steal anything effective. Cell ends up taking a decent amount of damage, but not all of it. So they back out. They lost the PA, but they take the tower.
Yeah, he really wanted to get the Chain Frost steal there, but Ice Armor is pretty good, all things considered. That's level, what is this?
3.
I think level 3, right? Yeah. Level 3 Ice Armor, you can have that for defensive purposes on the towers and on your heroes, so... And that's pretty annoying, too, when you're playing an OD and a Faceless Void. If you try to right-click people and you're getting constantly attack slowed, they're not going to do any damage in these team fights.
Yeah, definitely. And not only that, also the tower is becoming an issue, taking them down, since you can cast it on that as well. Well, like you mentioned, there's a lot of great spells to steal in this game, and Zephyr looking, gets the pullback. That is a dead Puck yet again. Man. I mean, it's not even at this point as if the Rubik is making great plays anymore. It's just that he's been given so much farm that he can make normal plays, but they just don't have a way to deal with it. And across the map, James ends up getting taken down as well by the Ember Spirit. It is completely falling apart for Execration. 19-8.
Yeah, not giving respect to that Blade Mail. Can't really man up for the OD onto the Ember Spirit. You kind of have to like Astro and wait out the Blade Mail. But at that time, he just got taken down. I think it was... I don't know if his TP was on CD. That might have been why he got caught out there. Because then you can just Astral TP away.
Right. Well, Mechanism, Koala also has a Sanj done on the Underlord, so they're going to have a Halberd completed for OD real early this game. It feels like RRQ has all of the pieces that they need to win this game. It's just going to be putting it all together and making sure that they don't make any misplays. Now, if they do make a couple misplays and Execration finds some kills, how quickly does this turn back around for them? Do they have a lot of comeback potential with this lineup?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's really hard to play Ember Spirit this game because there's so many things that can lock them down. Silences. There's 2 silences. You got Void, Ulti. OD is innately pretty good against the Ember Spirit. at times. So, but besides the blade mail being reflected, because that's just an item choice. And so this is a hard Ember Spirit game. That's why it's more on the PA this game, who's about to have an Aegis plus Deso. Gonna go in right-clicking hard.
Yeah. And, well, they're keeping the lanes pushed out, making sure that they can secure this Roshan #1 at sub 20 minutes. It is going to be an early push coming out, and all the more strong because of these heroes that they've got, which just deal so well with it. Looks like Lich is going back for a Glimmer Cape. Probably pretty necessary this game, too.
Yeah, there's a lot of magic damage coming out. More magic damage coming in from RRQ before that Deso is out here for Illogic, but now that it's out, here comes the pain. So interesting. I want to see what the PA kind of goes for afterwards. Probably goes into the Abyssal, just to lock down heroes, but this is a pretty good AC game to mitigate a lot of the physical damage coming in from the Faceless Void and whatnot. Maybe tank a little bit better in the Chronos, but we'll have to see how he wants to play. I think playing aggressive is always better, and I think the Abyssal allows you to play more aggressive. Oh, he's going BKB, so that's right. Probably needs that.
Yeah.
Oh, bottom though.
Well, damage coming out. They already start up the Underlord ulti, and Koala is going to be able to make his way back home.
That was probably a misplay there. He should have ultied, because OD was right by him. He could have just force-staffed over and started right-clicking. He wouldn't have had any mana to use his ulti afterwards. So, but they have the ultis for this mid-fight.
Yep, they have a hell of a lot of them as well. Chains come down. Chain Frost has already been used. Can they find anything else off the back of that? They steal Astral from the Rubik, trying to get into range. Might be able to keep somebody alive, but no, it doesn't end up happening. And instead, it is going to be a couple going down. Logic still managing to make the escape. This is still Aegis available, or rather, excuse me, already expended. So a lot gained in spite of only 2 dead at the end of it.
That was huge. That Chrono and Lich Train Frost?
Yeah.
My goodness. That was insane. Kind of set up there by the Shadow Blade coming in from Faceless Void and then just grouping up. So, really nice. Ember. He's going for this Lotus Orb. He has to go some kind of item, either the Lotus Orb or the Yules. But when you do this early on, it slows down your farm and your kind of like your split push. Normally you want to get that Radiance or that Maelstrom, so you're able to farm faster. But in this game, he's feeling the pressure. Right. He feels like, I'm gonna keep dying if I don't go for this. So at the end of the day, he's gonna farm less, but he eventually, when he gets it, he's gonna feel more safe in these team fights.
Yeah, and I think that because they've been finding so many kills, that's allowed him to stay up on the net worth, and maybe this is just one of those items that allows him to farm the heroes and make those aggressive plays, similar to the PA's BKB, but
now it'll
be tough.
They just smoked underneath that ward. They should know that they smoked.
Apparently Pasta Dodo has some stuff to say about it.
Yep.
Oh, well, there we go. Faceless Void going to end up dying. Shadow Blade will not save you there. And in spite of the smoke gank being scouted underneath the ward, they still end up being able to catch on it.
Oh, time walk forward. That Glimmer Cape just saved Lich's life, probably.
Yeah. Well, and the whole time too, like Ember can go out here and push out the side waves to make sure that they don't end up getting split pushed to death, and then all of RRQ can head off again in a little bit if they want to. So
this is kind of the a cool approach to this game for Execration, right? They're like, okay, well, we're gonna get stomped early game, we're gonna get stomped mid game, but are we gonna get stomped in this later game situation? And it might not be the case. They went for double Midas on top of the OD and the Void. This kind of paying off. Their first team fight was near that tier 2 was a great success. And if they can have those combos in team fights, they're going to look pretty good later on. But we'll have to see how things work out.
That should help. It looks like the BKB going to be completed for OD. So this is one of those items to help them weather the storm and make sure they can get into that later stage of the game. While mid lane, we might be seeing something. It's still so hard to go on Raging Potato. Even though they were able to kill him earlier, it feels like you do need everybody there to make sure it happens. Well,
yeah.
Puck. Oh, got caught. Triple Remnant. Good Yule Scepter, though. And now Ember in some trouble.
This is so tanky.
Underlord is actually going to be ulting into this, though. With everybody. They're all together.
They're going to have a very hard time killing the Ember Spirit soon. Now that he has the Lotus, once he gets level 20 and he has that plus 10 armor, I'm trying to figure out how they kill the Ember. So he's going to be like this frontline tank, just like the Underlord, is going to be insanely hard. Where's he going next? The Greaves, yeah, for the silences.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Nice courier pick off at least.
I was wondering what Regum Potato was doing.
Run.
Yeah, he's going to hide off in the trees here. Don't quite catch sight of him, and so the Potato will get out while the rest of Execration still together here. We'll see if Zephyr runs into him. They spot him again. There's the blink away. Did have Chrono if they wanted to use it, but they're going to wait on it, and that's actually, it's still a pretty big kill. They're using a lot on this Rubik, and OD actually ends up walking into it, and now he's going to be able to time walk out. Oh no, they're changed up together. Zephyr pulls it back in yet again, forces out the BKB, again the time walk, Yule Scepter to back out and escape. And the PA now jumps in, wants to battle off against James. Can they kill him off? Can they find this one? Dust is there as well, and Zephyr gets the kill. Chrono me, see what happens. My God.
And meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Puck died to PA solo in the bottom lane.
And Night Stalker ended up going down as well. Across the board, Execration crumbling at this point in time. And they're going to take this tier 2 tower without a whole hell of a lot of response from Execration.
Yeah, the Faceless Void, he just doesn't have enough damage to solo kill the Rubik, which is kind of sad that it's 26 minutes in the game, and we just saw that happen. And then just on the outside, not able to attack there from the OD.
Yeah, that makes all the difference in the world. If either Void commits his Chronosphere a little bit differently, or if OD maybe walks in at a different angle, it could have worked, but whoever you want to blame it on, something went wrong, and Execration are paying heavily for it.
Dagon 5 Lich. Interesting. So, I kind of like this approach, but at the same time I don't. I think they need the Ags for the PA eventually.
Right.
For when she gets her BKB, and you need to keep her locked in. But at the same time, they're lacking a lot of damage when it comes to these team fights, and they need to find another way to burst down these heroes besides physically doing them with the Void and the OD. So I like it, and then at the same time I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, it is beginning to feel more and more like Execration. Whatever's going on, they need to switch things up, and you know, I feel like it's high ground that's always going to be the big question mark, whether or not RRQ is going to be able to break that, and Roshan is probably the most important factor in that. So just waiting for a little while now. Still 2 minutes away, the Roche respawn timer. And then Execration, I would imagine, can fight around Roche. Do you think that that's the case, or is it too scary?
I think if it's nighttime, they can definitely fight around Roche for Execration. And they definitely want to make sure that they contest it. If you give Cheese away to Andy Aegis, they're just going to get sieged, it feels like, with the PA. But like you said, high ground sieging is going to be hard because of the Frost Armor. So it's going to be interesting to see how this game plays out in that regard.
Yeah. Well, Nando throws the orb. Does scout out, I believe, the Ember, but Ember still should be able to get out of here. And yeah, he's just going to throw out his Remnant to get away, and Execration going to siege the tier 2 slightly. If you wanted to, they have a... actually, they don't have any Dark Rift for another 30 seconds. They can't all head down bottom to try and defend, but it's still not heavy pressure on that tower. And they just want to be around this area where Roche is.
Yeah, when you're positioned this way from Execration, you feel kind of helpless to stop the Roche too.
Oh, uh-oh.
Raging Potato.
I mean, he's down there in the low ground, but I think that they scouted him out. Do they have Dust? Do they have Reveal? It doesn't look like it. Yeah, they have all this wards in the area, though, so Raging Potato very aware of as well of what could be coming his direction, and he's actually going to TP out inside their own base.
So a good thing that they do have going for them, for at least Execration, they had the Silver Edge was completed a little bit ago. That helps out for the PA, and to take off the Blur, as well as the Underlord taking off the Trophy Aura. So they have that. Problem is, Void still doesn't have any farming item. He's going into another kind of defensive item. So this is going to be a long time before this Void is kind of at his peak in this game.
Right. And it will be another stage when probably by that point Rubik might even have Aghanim Scepter. I mean, he's what, 2,600 gold away from it. He took the GPM talent. He's been getting kills, been able to farm for little bits and pieces. They don't have any more objectives to take as far as tier 2s, etc. But
so if you steal Hunter in the night,
no,
you get permanent. No.
Okay. The vision is linked to Night Stalker, sadly.
Lame.
Yeah. Oh, but apparently he's got a little bit of nighttime vision, and now he's rooted up. He can't get away. Oh, Limik, you clipped yourself for 14 seconds trying to back out and away, but it's not going to happen. And now a second clipping will occur. Ember going to have to get down onto the low ground, and, well, Roche very surely. Nando trying to get it. He steals the Aegis and ends up getting the Roche kill. What a guy. This is what they needed for sure. So something go in the favor of Execration. That's actually really, really big. Even if he ends up going down here, I feel like RRQ need to take advantage of this moment and try and push before everybody gets back up, or at least force a buyback.
That hurts. That's one of those plays that can basically give you another 10 minutes in Dota, which you shouldn't have had. Right? And that steal might have pushed them into the edge where they have a good chance at defending the high ground, or at least getting a chance to come back in this game. Even though it's 26-11 right now, it's only a 2K gold lead, but it still feels like they're having a hard time actually killing people. So
it's 2K into Execration's favor as well. That's the other part of this. Well, RRQ, they're there. They throw out the cask. It is going to bounce once, but Koala, I mean, he's not dying. Like, this is not a hero that dies right now. And in fact, it might be Raging Potato that ends up going down. The dagger on him. Vision is there. He's going to be able to jump away, but can they get there in time? Do they have the cast? No, it's not going to connect. I mean, it will connect, but not when they wanted it to.
Man, Witch Doctor has been playing so good this game. Oh, meanwhile, they're going on Ember.
Lotus Orb keeping him alive. Now they get back in there. There's going to be the Astro that was stolen by Zephyr to keep his buddy alive. They take down Limik instead. Nando trying to escape, but the Eul Scepter lift up means he is not going to be able to jaunt away, and instead it's going to be the rest of RQ finding themselves a kill in a second, I believe. Oh, Punkut South? Oh, Nando, what a guy. Look at this. He's just going to be able to walk away from him. He got juked, the old okey doke.
Yep, pretty good play there from Buck. Now he's just gonna split push this lane. Feels good, man. But yeah, he realizes his mistake for the Dagon. Now he's gonna go back for the eggs, which they need the control in these team fights.
Yeah.
So Underlord, they try to make a play on him. That was a very bad idea. Now they don't have the chrono for this defense, and they're kind of scratching their heads. How are we going to hold this now?
It's tough. Very, very hard to deal with. Nando doesn't have his TP, but is going to be finally back in the base now. They're trying to cut through this, and Alan Astral comes out for the moment. I believe that was from the OD himself. Rooted again, dealing the damage. They don't have any big spells stolen for the moment by the Rubik, just the phase shift to keep him alive. But he is only 1,400 gold away from his Aghanim Scepter now. And it looks like the rest of Execration will be able to hold their Tier 3 tower for the moment.
Yeah, and that was all ice armor eventually when Lich revived, so just PA having a hard time, even with that Deso bringing down the tower. And I want to go back to this Witch Doctor. This Witch Doctor is performing really well this game, all things considered. But he only has 3K net worth. It just feels so bad. He had to buy a lot of detection because of the Void getting the fast Shadow Blade, and then and then he's just put into this position where he just doesn't have anything, even though he should, it feels like.
Yeah. Well, and that net worth is sort of made up for by the Rubik and what the Rubik's been able to accomplish, but if he doesn't make big plays with that net worth, then suddenly you've invested a lot into a hero that just ends up maybe getting blown at the start of the fight. It's a possibility. We'll have to see.
For sure. And then I think Rubik's definitely been playing the best this game out of anybody. So he's been putting in a lot of the plays.
Ooh.
Can't really fault him for anything.
Bottom lane. Does not look like they are too concerned, at least for the moment. The Lotus Orb is still there. He drops the Chrono. Can they actually kill him? Oh, the silence before the Void comes out. He's going to be able to Remnant away. Oh, Ember just gets out by the skin of his teeth. And if you Void right there before the silence.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or if I don't even know if Darkness was up. I'd have to rewatch that. I was more focused on that Void silence play than the Darkness.
Yeah.
It was probably down though. You would think it had been down.
All right, they pull back in again, and Puck going to be able to phase shift for the moment, but it should be the tower still going down. Tried to break the snap coil, but it doesn't end up happening, and now he does actually end up doing it. Maybe he didn't realize they had Aghanim Scepter or something, but a Logic in trouble. He ends up stealing that, turning it back against them for the moment. Raging Potato trying to back out. They can all get out inside the Underlord ulti. It pulls a couple away, but not a Logic nor Zephyr. So the Rubik may be in some trouble here. He is not going to have anything, really. Fuel Scepter lift up, trying to run away. Does manage to find the Blink, but no TP. It is going to be hard-pressed to keep him alive. They lose two. Underlord a bit too far away from his team.
That was the pretty cheeky play that they tried. They tried to break the PA before she got her BKB off by using the Force Staff. But unfortunately, you need to have two Force Staffs for that to really work. And then they didn't really do it. Oh, meanwhile, they're on the chase. They're hungry. So at least the good thing is Faceless Void is starting to get some damage items. Astral Self, nice. Here comes the Night Stalker. But meanwhile, he's going to go on this poor little Witch Doctor who's going to be able to get away.
13 stick charges, hard to take him down. That's another Yule Scepter lift up, and it looks like the Puck will be able to escape again. So Execration trying to mount a little bit of a aggressive here, but at the same time you have the split push from Emder, and we've seen that this is not a hero that they're capable of dealing with really, or finding the kills. I still think that they can kill him, but it just hasn't happened yet. Oh, and there's the Remnant away.
If they had maybe an Ags there, and I think they still need it. They kind of need a Sheep for this. They either need a Sheep or just a lot of damage on Void and finding him solo. Which he's getting there. He's got his Manta, or not his Manta, his Diffusal. He should be going probably Manta next for the extra damage, but at the same time, maybe you want more damage than that. Maybe you want to have a Bloodthorn or something.
Yeah.
If you're able to Chrono and then Bloodthorn, the amount of damage is insane as long as somebody doesn't get Lotus Orbs.
That's true. And I think that if you get into that item, like a Manta even, that's probably enough to kill off a Ember in the space of a Chronosphere. I would imagine, at least. Maybe not. You
should be able to burn most of his mana too.
Yeah.
Right? So even if you don't kill him, maybe you take all of his mana away and then you're able to just kill him anyways by chasing him down.
Yeah.
So there's always that aspect.
500 away from that Ag Scepter for Zephyr, and getting closer by the minute with that GPM talent, as well as taking down the shrines. So this is going to be another one of those timing windows. How big of a deal do you think that is? As Raging Potato is again hunting. Well, there it is. Chronosphere down. Can he kill him off? The bash, the stun, the damage, but they're jumping in. Okay, cancels that, and it should be enough to allow him to get out. Yep. Remnants away. And TPs? Do they have them? They have a TP on the Void and one on the Night Stalker.
And meanwhile, Puck kill the lane creeps and then just TP the base, so even more time bought. So they're doing a really nice job there. Well, let's see if this nice sucker's dead.
Oh,
Bash.
God. There's the disarm, trying to get out. Oh, Bash!
Who needs Bash when you got crits, man?
One or the other was going to proc for sure.
That's just not fair. That's where you start crying. Because if you think about it, he has a Solar Crest and... Well, did he have the Heaven's Halberd before that? Yeah, he had the Halberd. He has so much evasion right now.
Yeah.
39% evasion. He crits him twice. He bashes him. Luck is just not on his side.
Yeah. It hurts. Well, we have that Aghanim Scepter now. The Ag's ulti upgrades. You've got Nando, the obviously Dream Coil being quite good. Lich's is also pretty good, not as good as it used to be, because it's... I mean, I guess it's not as good as it was relative to not having Aghanim Scepter, because you still have the very high level of slow, even without the Ag Scepter. Night Stalkers obviously is nothing, and OD doesn't have one anymore, but probably just that whatever else.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Lich Ag is necessarily needed. It'd be nice if they can get another Lotus Orb, too.
Yeah.
It's really good to have this Lotus Orb for those casts as lifts. Even the Abyssal that's going to be coming out from the PA soon.
Yeah.
If she Abyssals herself, that's a lot of damage wasted in time.
Yeah, I was just meaning that the ultis that you can throw back with the Rubik Aghanim Scepter.
That's right.
But the other thing, I guess, is also mainly just the ability to constantly spam out spells, which is quite good. All right, Sheepstick and Abyssal Blade done at the same time. Rage of Potato walking in right now towards Roshan. They have a little bit of time left before it ends up going down. He dropped the Chrono onto 2. Rubik dead at the start of the fight. Great way to start it. Can they bring down another? Witch Doctor trying to get away from there, and they pop the BKB for James, trying to man up, but there's the Abyssal Blade. Lots of damage being dealt into Rubik. It's nowhere to help him out at all. They end up taking down that Ember Spirit. A Logic in a hell of a lot of trouble, but can they kill off this OD? It's not going to happen. Everybody's gone. Age is down. Execration. Stamp on the throat of RRQ. My God, they destroyed him.
Yeah, that's why you play for the late game. They just could not breach high ground. That extra 10-minute window. Insane. All because of Puck. Puck didn't have the best early game, didn't have the best mid game, but when it counted, he delivered. He gave his team a chance to actually win this game.
Yeah.
And probably because they waited so long, Void actually got items, OD actually got items. They're going to win this game now.
We'll have to see. Still a little bit of time left over for the moment. I mean...
47 seconds, though.
Yeah.
GA does have the cheese, but no buyback. But no ultis on Execration either, so they don't really want to force the issue there.
I mean, to be fair, too, that was like the dream fight for Execration. You look at it, you've got a Chronosphere onto the 2 supports, you blow them up before they can cast anything, and then all you're left with is the cores, who, granted, are quite strong, but they need that extra little buffer of the control that's afforded by RRQ supports. And I guess the other thing is the BKBs coming out and actually being useful, quite important as well.
Yeah, it felt like that Underlord was just paper there, too.
Yeah.
He went from like 100 to 0 real fast. And that was the scary part there. You're meant to have these tanky heroes and the Ember Spirit, the Underlord. They're not supposed to die, and yet they're building these tanky items, but it's not helping.
Right.
OD's shredding them. Void is actually getting to the point where he's just killing them faster and faster. So they're feeling a little bit desperate here, and I can't blame them. They need to make something happen while they still have a good chance in this game.
This could be the move, but the problem is Void, level 25, so he's got long initiation range, and he has Chronosphere back up, a ton of damage. If they can find Void first, it would be good, but it is nighttime. So Night Stalker going to have that little bit of extra vision. They jump forward, don't quite catch on to James. He manages to escape. Oh, very, very close to a big play, but not enough in the end. And now, like you said, RRQ not in a position to try and make the push happen.
So in this position now, you're gonna start seeing the effectiveness of Rubik. As we saw, once he got chronoed, that's a really big target for them. If they can kill off the Rubik before he steals anything in these team fights, I think that's a prime target for them to kill first, if they can. Or potentially they can go into the PA maybe if they can find him.
Oh, there it is. Nicely done there. They do not have an Abyssal Blade anymore, though, and RRQ just turns back around again. They've caught the Rubik, but not going on to him for the moment. There is the Echo Saber, rather Echo Shell from the Lotus Orb coming out. Logic still alive for the moment. They have been able to catch Rage Potato. He's actually going to get away. Instead, it's the Night Stalker they've got. Lemik, it's a good kill. Not as good as it could have been, but he will eventually fall.
I like how he did go for that Bloodthorn, but you just see the usefulness. If he doesn't catch the Ember Spirit, or if the Ember Spirit's close, then he just immediately purged it. If he didn't purge that, PA would have been dead. So you can see the flaws there with getting this item, everyone, but then you can also see how it can be very, very potent. So now it's kind of like back to the drawing board. He sees them. Raging Potato. Free support. Oh, he's a gem.
Yep, they're gonna find him. Jumping away, sheep stick down, lots of damage being dealt, and Ember actually gonna be able to walk away for the moment. All of his mana is gone. Goes for the Ghost Scepter. He runs back in. The absolute madman, but they will be able to find that kill onto Void. The potato has fallen. And so too will maybe the game if they can get there within range. As it looks like they want to make this rotation up towards the bottom lane to see if they can finally take themselves another tier 3 tower.
That's one of those situations where if you don't know that Void's BKB is on cooldown, you would instantly sheep the Witch Doctor and kill him. But maybe James didn't know that.
And they don't have Rage Potato for 70 seconds. This is a tremendous moment for them, and Lotus Orb coming back. They get the lift. They pull in the OD. They've got him undershot, and well, lots of damage coming out now. Able to steal the Frost Armor, which is going to keep them alive a little bit longer. They're not doing quite enough damage, though. Without the Void there, they don't have enough. Lemik still backing out. They have Astro as well to keep somebody alive. Buyback from the OD. They need him here immediately. Now they're going to pop that ulti to try and get everybody out together. Can it happen? Yes, it will. They even end up taking down the Night Stalker on their way out. So everybody from RRQ back alive, and they force the buyback from the OD. Big plays.
No, just capitalizing on the mistakes coming in from Execration, getting very greedy around the map, and then they punish them. So, and then now, 20 seconds still left. Lich is not dead, so good luck helping. Good luck with these. But the Fortify, they still fortify. They should be enough time for the Void to come back up.
Yeah. They seem to make sure that not everybody from RRQ gets caught again in a big old Chronosphere, but the Hex, the surprise Hex, they weren't expecting it. OD forced to self-astral. A couple of stuns on the snaps. There's going to be a lot of damage with that Chain Frost bouncing around. They actually only have caught on to one right there inside the Chrono. They turn the Chrono back against him. Rubik with the plays, keeping OD out of the fight for the moment. Can they get anything else off the back of this, though? The Witch Doctor ulti comes out. That's OD with the dieback. Can they find any more? They need to get back into this fight. PA could buy back if they wanted to, but it's a scary proposition, and Rubik's still trying to make the escape. He does have Time Walk as well as another blink in a second. Can he get himself out of here? Time Walks to the south, and it looks like the blink away should be able to get him away, but another big play, big combo. Rubik
he just missed the dragon.
Caught. He's still in trouble, though, and will finally fall. Gem on the ground as well.
Rax's are gone. That's what they wanted, but it's 48 minutes in the game. Not too big of a deal. Roche is not up for at least another minute or so. So
RRQ needs a second, apparently.
We're going to be here for a while.
Oh, lordy. Okay, let's try and build some... let's figure out where we are right now in this game. By the way, for anybody that hasn't tuned in, these C qualifiers have been pretty great so far, or rather the playoffs for the WCA event. We've had two 60-minute games before this, and now another one that's seeming to stretch into the later stages. Anything that really is going to speak to you about where you see this game going in the next couple of minutes? We got a lot of level 25s online.
Next couple of minutes, I want to see how they're going to approach this situation right now because they can potentially force out to the bottom lane, and then there'll be like 20 seconds, maybe 10 seconds left for RRQ before they respawn. If they have enough time to take this bottom tier 3, I'm curious to see how that's going to work out because they have the haste right now coming in from Raging Potato. So I expect them to go bottom lane. I'm kind of curious to see who's going to buy back, if anyone. I think Rubik has to buy back. As for the other two, we're going to have to wait and see. No Void Chrono for 59 seconds. But, yeah, this next, I guess, like you said, 2 minutes is going to be interesting to see how much they can get building structure-wise in this bottom lane. And then afterwards, I think we're going to see... Listen, I don't know where the smoke. Like I said, this is one of those situations where I wish I knew if their smokes are on cooldown, who has smokes. I know Lich has one when I just sifted through everyone's inventory, but I don't know if RRQ has any.
Yeah,
because I feel like they used a lot, right? So this is kind of like Execration's time to strike back with their smoke, and them going on the aggressive.
It looks like we've got some of RRQ getting back into the game now. Yeah, and I'm feeling like if that Witch Doctor didn't kill off that OD in that fight,
yeah,
like I can't even imagine that. I mean, the game would probably be pretty close to over. Roshan can respawn in about a minute. Both teams should be fairly aware of that, although sometimes it's hard to be aware of that when there's these pauses that come out and stuff like that. Underlord also is getting close to his 25. The Pitamalis route actually feels like it might be decent this game. Like the health regen is hard to say no to, but if Underlord is dying, I feel like it happens very quickly, and the health regen might not even matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd say 9 times out of 10 you always go the 0.4 because it's going to be helpful. Even though there's a lot of force staffs coming into play and they're getting out of the pit, I think you still need it for when the BKBs run out or if they actually get caught in there again, because then it reapplies itself most of the time because it feels like it reapplies faster. So it's always nice to just have that. Like you said, the 50 health, it's not too good this game because of the burst damage that comes out from the OD Puck and the Void. Which DC to use the restroom? Dude. But why you got a DC? This ain't no pub.
I don't know. It's just
that's
like
what you do. That's the funny part, right? You're in a pub, and then what do? You have to DC to pee.
Yeah.
Feels bad.
Well, I mean, you know, you're used to having to do that, so you just end up doing it. It signals when they're back and ready to go. And now we're back underway. Let's see what RRQ have come up with.
Probably peed in a bottle or something.
Oh, lordy. Lordy. Witch Doctor, maybe it's now coming into play a little bit what you were talking about, the lack of items for him starting to become more and more of an issue. But nonetheless, Void, Raging Potato, they are looking for somebody. They want that Witch Doctor. They're not going to find him. He knew better.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And it is going to be the buyback on the Rubik at the very least. We'll see how well he can hold it. It's still 20 seconds before it ends up happening. Dream Coil a little bit off the mark, and Witch Doctor does not have a Glimmer Cape. Steals it, pushes him out. Can they break the Tether Snap? No, it's not going to be there, but still, I think that Puck is dead regardless with the Maledict as well as everything else. Maybe can Yule Scepter himself out of this, but Zephyr for the moment jumps back and away. Underlord's back in. He's got him hexed up. In trouble. Lemic trying to run away. They will have another Telekinesis available in 4 seconds, and the logic here as well. That should be the death of the Night Stalker. Looks like Puck was able to play himself out of there, but the rest of these heroes will be going down. They managed to take the tier 3 tower, though, and the melee, or rather range barracks.
Nice, so we predicted the future. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, it's pretty stock standard stuff. And then with these BKBs, or buyback save now on the cores, they're going to feel a lot safer now on the map to either farm or just push them out, or maybe go for a play themselves here.
Yeah.
So that's at least nice for RRQ in this situation, only having to lose a range Rex.
Ooh, and they're going to end up going for the top lane. Time to push out again. Roshan going to respawn in 45 seconds. Meanwhile, Raging Potato
Buck
down
has
bottom.
no buyback here.
Yeah, neither does the a lot of the heroes on the Dire. They know that OD doesn't have one because he just bought back. Kill the OD, maybe win the game. Dagon to start, stealing a lot of int. Gotta be careful. The E-Blade as well to make sure it doesn't happen. The Chrono, it's pretty big onto 3. Do they have enough follow-up damage? The Chain Frost bounces. It's gonna be more than enough. Zephyr is already down. Acel also in trouble. They run down, find him. The Hex is there as well. Can they kill off this Chronosphere Void? He is gonna end up dying to the Maledict damage. Great play comes out from the Witch Doctor. Presence of mind to realize he could take him down, and now RR in trouble as well. They took down the Rubik, but far more is going into the way of RRQ. Can they kill off the Ember? He is dead. Maybe needing to buy back into this one. They don't have the Underlord ulti. They used it to get up here, and instead it's going to be them trying to zone out for the moment. But Raging Potato's back in. The bounces, it might be enough. Can they kill him off in time? There's a ton of damage coming out. The Witch Doctor is doing so much in these fights.
That's a dieback.
Oh, James, can they kill him off? They will. The crit comes through just in time. 4 dead for Execration, and now the base on the line. They buy back on the Witch Doctor, buying back on every damn person, but Execration is lacking a few that they need. They need to kill off this PA so badly, but there's the Abyssal Blade coming out. Nando trying to kill off PA. It's just not happening. Just too much damage. The BKB has been popped. Lemic taking the damage as well. And now they found themselves Nando stuck there for the moment, but able to jump away again.
The Dagon. Oh, what?
Koala.
He missed.
He ended up hitting another creep?
He
What?
creep?
Oh, Puck disarmed. Can they find this kill? The bounces are there. I think that they might have done it finally. Nando Sheepstick, but their eyes on the prize. RRQ might have finally done it, or at least done enough to cause some serious issues. The casket's gonna bounce, and now Nando, the sole survivor,
He has buyback.
is going to continue to hold their attention, but the most important part is that it's for the Ancients. RRQ knowing what they needed to do. They're trying to take this down. They haven't called BK or GG yet, but still damage being dealt out. Witch Doctor ulti there as well. The Chain Frost is bouncing. They're just trying to keep him off of this. The Chain Frost working as well. They have more Dagons, but not nearly enough damage. This is going to be game before OD can get back up. RRQ taking game number 1. And Execration can't believe it.
Wow, that was stunning performance from both teams, it felt like. And then just a little bit too many mistakes coming in there at Execration towards the end of the game. Unfortunately, it looked like they could have easily taken this game towards the end, but RRQ just staying around, sticking it together. And even if PA had died there, she had buyback and bots ready. So even though the Puck did misplay that at the end there, it wouldn't have mattered for the longevity of things. The game would have still been over. And, well, a little bit unfortunate there. Void, well, I just want to go back a little bit there and talk about the previous team fight. Void went in, right? And then he got 3-man Chrono, but his team wasn't there to help back him up. It was just like, whoa, you got this great Chrono, but where's the follow-up? And sure, you killed Rubik, but then he died afterwards being greedy going onto the Witch Doctor. So that might have potentially cost them the game, just being a little bit overzealous. So that's kind of like maybe the story of this game for Execration, just maybe going before everybody's ready. So
yeah,
just maybe slow it down a little.
Well, pretty nuts performance. Very surprised to see RRQ come out so strong. And I think that there were moments where Execration proved that they were really a strong team, but this draft, I think, from RRQ was very well designed, and they had...
Hi, I'm Lyrical Dota, guys. RRQ has 0% chance.
Get out of here. Here's the thing. Let's be real. RRQ is not as good as Execration. They played better this game, and Execration just traveled 3 hours to a place where they could play Dota because their electricity was shut down in their city. Like,
no, I'm just giving you hell, man.
Let's be real. You gotta keep it true with the audience. Yeah, in case you guys didn't know, Execration had to take a 3-hour car ride or whatever ride to get to a new city because theirs had like an earthquake and they had to go somewhere else to play Dota. But nonetheless, we're gonna have game number 2 around in a second. I don't know. Do you think that would affect you as a player?
Not really.
No.
I think they could have just. Well, maybe it would affect me because I'm bad, but for them, probably not. They're just probably maybe getting accustomed to the situation they're in. Maybe they slowed this game. Maybe they slowed this game down pretty well. I was pretty impressed for Execration how they came back into the game, or just kept grinding it out, and they weren't necessarily too far behind in the game. But yeah, Nando pretty much giving them like their one hope in this game with stealing that Aegis and cheese. Always gonna have to go back to that in this game, which is very cool and impressive. But other than that, we're gonna have to see how things work out here, because obviously both teams aren't gonna get the same drafts now. And the last series that we saw, remember how they just both teams just completely changed up for game 2? I'm wondering if they'll do that for both teams here, or if they'll stick around to their normal picks.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be back in just a few minutes. Game number 2, RRQ versus Execration. Winner is going to move on to face Mineski in the upper bracket. Lyrical as well as Ryuu, your two casters. We'll see you guys in a few.